current legislation regulating the liquor industry and compliance levels are under the spotlight in East London in the Eastern Cape. The Provincial Liquor Board put together a summit to allow stakeholders to address the issues and questions regarding liquor laws. One of the more prominent discussions set to take place is around the proposed changes to the age restriction linked to liquor sales, raising it from 18 to 21 years of age. Now, any changes to the legislation can also have an economic impact on the industry. SABC News spoke earlier to our reporter Busisiwe Jemsana, who's at the summit.
A very good afternoon. We are in the East London ICC, where the Liquor Summit is currently taking place. Inside, presentations are being made by different stakeholders. We've just heard the House of Traditional Leaders saying they'll work hand in hand with the Liquor Board to make sure that they spread the word, they make awarenesses in communities to make sure that the alcohol consumption is limited, or rather is balanced. But we are joined now by Minister Davies, who's going to talk more about the impact of alcohol in societies and its economic spin-offs. Minister, thank you so much for your time. Inside, they are talking about improving the current policies, 500-meter radius from schools, trading hours, the age. How will this impact on the turnout?
Well, as you probably aware, we last year published for public comment a National Liquor Amendment Bill. We're in the process of assessing the public comments now and then deciding what we will be taking to Cabinet as a final bill. Indeed, it is dealing with many of the issues that you just mentioned. And the background, I think, is that we have a very serious problem of alcohol abuse in South Africa. Something like 40% of all our natural deaths in the country have alcohol as a contributory factor. That includes violence against women and children. That includes a lot of road accidents, unnatural deaths. We have something like, in the document that we sent out to accompany the bill, the estimate was that it was costing government something like 37 billion rand a year on dealing with the costs of abuse. I have seen estimates that have put the figure closer to 50 billion. Now, that's money that we could spend on other things, and it is a very serious problem in this country. We consume, as South Africans, way over the world average consumption of alcohol, and we have the highest incidence of fetal alcohol syndrome. So that's the issue. So we've got to do something which is much more radical than we've been doing up to now. And so the proposals in our bill were, among other things, raising the drinking age from 18 to 21. And that's based on physiological arguments which say that the juvenile brain is not yet fully developed until about the mid-20s, and that the parts of it that are not developed are those parts of it about responsible behavior and recklessness and stuff like that, and that indeed alcohol acts exactly on that and inhibits caution and care and so on. Then also that in various countries where the drinking age has been raised, they've seen a reduction in youth abuse, and conversely, in one country at least, where the drinking age was lower, there was an increase. So that's the argument we're going to have to come up against. Then we are talking about laws to prescribe limits on distance that alcohol outlets can be from schools, places of worship and so on. We're having to take account, of course, of the urbanization as well. So where we're talking about something in a shopping center, which is a restaurant that sells liquor, there will be a different story to something which is just a drinking house, which is sitting in a residential area. But I think residents are calling for there to be limitations, 500-meter radiuses. Advertising, targeting young people, that's another thing that we want to have a flexible regime there, because just hours is not going to cope with it, because actually young people watch television later than older people. So I think that we want to deal with all of these matters. And then I suppose one of the most important proposals that's there is liability. If a manufacturer or a wholesaler is continually selling large quantities of alcohol to somebody and they don't even ask them whether they've got a liquor license, and it's not likely to be for personal home consumption, we're going to say to them, well, now you must show that you have actually at least followed some due caution in terms of trying to control ensure that your product is not finding its way into unregistered outlets. If we find it is and you haven't been doing that, you'll be liable for any damage that's caused as a result of that. And likewise, if somebody in any outlet, legal or illegal, serves someone who's obviously drunk, and those people go out and cause damage, then they will have to show that they exercise due caution and due care in supplying that liquor. Otherwise, they can also be liable for the costs and consequences. So I think it's to try to generate a much more responsible and much more caring approach to the production and distribution of alcohol in this country. I think we know it's a business opportunity. We know we need to promote much more empowerment in agriculture, not just in liquor sales, not just in the retail, which is the provincial responsibility, but also in the manufacture and the wholesaling side of the business. We need to see much more transformation, and indeed it's not just under the liquor laws, it's under the BEE legislation, and all organs of state, whenever they give someone a license, they will have to be asking them for a certain level of BEE in return. So these are some of the issues that are in our bill. As I said, they were in for proposals. We've had consultations. We will listen also to what's been said here today, and then we will have to make a call and submit our bill to Cabinet, and then from Cabinet into Parliament.
Minister, thank you so much for your time. That was the Trade and Industry Minister, Rob, saying that they are trying to promote responsible drinking, responsible production of alcohol, and mentioning that that in the Eastern Cape alone, it's over 3 billion rand worth of economic spin-offs, but that is just a drop as compared to the billions that the industry is costing the government in terms of expenditure and in terms of alcohol-related challenges that the country faces, that's child mortality and things like that he has just mentioned. We will be keeping a close eye and sitting in the submissions and commissions to hear what this summit will come out saying, the recommendations that will be taken to Parliament. It is back to you in studio for now.